This video features details of suicide. Viewer discretion is advised. At around 2:30 p.m. on the 2nd of July 2011, a young man was witnessed sitting on the edge of the safety barrier at the top of the Jacques Cartier Bridge in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. When a witness approached the man on the bridge, he said to them in fluent French, "If you have a telephone, you should call the police." Before the witness could intervene, the man jumped from the edge of the bridge into the water below. 5 days later, his body was recovered from the banks of the St. Lawrence River, after police received reports of it being spotted floating nearby by a passing ship's captain. At autopsy, there were no signs of traumatic injuries, so the coroner attributed the cause of death to probable drowning. Although the typical signs of drowning were not observed, the coroner attributed this to the body being so badly decomposed that it made those signs impossible to identify. A toxicology report revealed that no drugs, medications, or alcohol were present in his system when he died. Due to him clearly expressing his intention to jump to the witness, the manner of death was ruled as suicide. The victim was a white male with a fair complexion, most likely between the ages of 28 and 32. He was between 5'9" and 6'2", and he weighed around 148 to 168 pounds. His shoulder-length hair was bright red, and his eyes were brown. The only other distinguishing feature was a non-surgical scar on his inner right wrist. The victim wore the following items of clothing: an undescribed pair of glasses, a white baseball jersey-style shirt with long red sleeves, a faux leather belt, beige cargo-style trousers, beige socks, and brown sports shoes. He also wore some quite distinct pieces of jewellery. Fastened to his left bicep was a green elastic band. On his left wrist, he wore a silver-coloured aluminium and stainless steel chain with several silver-colour rings attached. These rings did not have any markings or engravings. Also attached was what appeared to be part of an old ID bracelet, engraved with the name Michel. For clarification, that's Michel, which is a French name for boys. The victim also wore a ring described as Lord of the Rings style, with an engraving on the inner band that hasn't been described. As the victim carried no personal belongings beyond his clothing and jewellery, his identity was difficult to establish from the get-go. Police combed through missing people, but it seems his disappearance was never reported. Fingerprints and DNA were taken from the victim and entered into various Canadian databases, in which no matches were found. In a last resort bid for information, an image of the man taken by CCTV shortly before his death was circulated in the local press. They also included the detail that his name may be Michel, as indicated by the bracelet he wore. When no one from Quebec claimed to recognize the victim, his description was circulated across the whole of Canada. No leads came from that, so police turned their efforts to running his identifiers through the databases held by the US. No matches showed up there either. Finally, police sent the victim's information to Interpol, who then circulated his details throughout their various European databases. Again, no matches turned up. After investigators spent almost 3 straight years trying to uncover the victim's identity without success, the Quebec coroner closed his final report on the 7th of March, 2014. In place of the victim's name in the coroner's report, they simply wrote, "Unknown." As of March 2025, I'm afraid that's all the information I can give. I first learned about this man, who I call Michel in my head, about 4 years ago now, and he's stuck with me ever since. I've been wanting to make a video about him since I first found out about him, but for many years it seemed like no one could get a straight answer from the Quebec coroner or the SPVM regarding whether or not he was ever identified. For about 10 years, there was next to no information about him available online, beyond one article from 2011 and the coroner's report from 2014. In 2024, though, the SPVM finally added him to the list of unidentified bodies on their website. They didn't provide any new information, but they did provide a better photo, which is the one I've been using in this video. Though I'm saddened to know that he still hasn't been given his name, there's some comfort in knowing that the police must have been looking over his case file again recently, and cared enough to put his information online. At the bottom of his page on the SPVM's website, they invite people to share this appeal on social media. That much is the least and maybe the most that I can do for him. And now we have confirmation of him still being unidentified. Now is as good a time as ever. In my heart, I know that someone recognizes this man. And even if it's only a 1 in a billion chance of them ever seeing this video, I'm still gonna give it a go. If you believe you might have any information regarding this man's identity, you can contact the SPVM by calling 514-393-1133. Alternatively, you could use the link shown on screen and located in the description to submit your information via their online tip form. Thank you all very much for giving Michel a moment of your day.